So he was better than expected in what way?
In the sense of having a good sense, having a sense of how he wanted to go prosecute his arguments. I thought that he was, as I remember, I thought that he was in a pretty good space about how he wanted to set up some of the contrast.
And you expected him to be worse than that?
I wasn't really sure what to expect. He'd had a grueling June schedule that included 2 European trips and had not had that much time to review his preparation materials, it's true.
So I think the way I asked it was at the beginning of debate prep,
Yeah.
But over the course of debate prep, did concerns arise for you about President Biden's level of preparedness or his performance?
As I remember, the concerns that arose for me in the course of debate prep that week were very much around the cold, its effect on his voice, and the fact that it seemed to be getting worse. That if on Monday he had cold symptoms, by Tuesday he had a cold, by Wednesday he had a bad cold, and that the progression concerned me because I did have concerns around how it might affect his performance.
Were there any conversations about potentially delaying the debate?
None that I was part of.
Were you part of any discussions with other people at Camp David, other advisors at Camp David who had concerns about President Biden's health at that point?
As I remember, we were all concerned, about his voice and how his voice was going to sound and how, just in general, his, the cold and how he was going to feel by Thursday.
Did anyone else raise different concerns? Did anyone raise concerns about President Biden's mastery of the issues or understanding of what had been said on the campaign trail or by President Trump or anything outside of his voice and seeming sick?
I don't remember having those conversations specifically. The president, as I remember, the president was in pretty good shape on the arguments that Donald Trump was making against him. But again, that is my memory of it.
So you wouldn't say his voice was hard to hear, that his delivery was halting, or that his answers were all over the place during debate prep?
Those are 3 different
Those
questions.
are 3 different questions. I will go to the first one.
I can ask you again.
Yeah.
Like, Did President Biden's performance range from bad to passable?
That's a difficult question because there are some people who in prep are never going to be that great, but they're what we like to call game day players, and you put them on out there and they perform. I think that is a phrase that comes from some sport, but I forget which one. And I think we had always regarded him, I certainly had regarded President Biden as a game day player. So,
Was his voice hard to hear?
his voice, as I remember, his voice was not hard to hear in the mock because he was projecting. And in the Q&A afterwards, his voice was soft, but he was also losing his voice because of the cold. In the mock debates, though, you could hear him and you could hear him clearly.
Was his delivery halting?
Again, as I remember, his delivery in the mock debates was fine. He did a pretty good job, but his voice was going.
And again, during the mock debate, were his answers all over the place in your view?
I don't remember thinking his answers were all over the place. I certainly remember, thinking that he needed to tighten up answers, that, he wasn't following all of the talking points we had given him, but that is not unique to 2024. That is simply Joe Biden. So.
And we're getting close to the end of our hour here, so I think this will be my last question. But
Okay.
Were these debate prep sessions, mock sessions, were they called off early?
As I remember, we did shorten the mock part of it, on Tuesday and on Wednesday, because we wanted to save his voice. We didn't want to have him standing there for 90 minutes and using his voice that much.
So the mocks, multiple of them were cut short and the concern was to save his voice?
Yes, that is what I remember.
Okay.
Were any members of the president's family at debate prep?
Not that I remember. Dr. Biden was not there. No, I don't remember anybody.
No, Hunter Biden.
No. And I'm sitting here thinking, was there a grandchild who came by at some point? But I do not believe that is the case. But I could be wrong, so, yeah.